Alright, my long-time subscribers know that I praise Ninja Gaiden from the rooftops, and I'm not joking when I say that next to my favorite books on my shelf is a copy of Ninja Gaiden 2 proudly on display for everyone to see. I have posted up even video of a Chinese player playing the game who just happens to be who I stole my playstyle from. So yes, I'm a huge fan of the series. And with that being said, I will be giving you two reviews today of the same game. One being an objective review, and the other being my fanboy rant of how Ninja Gaiden 3 turned out. And multiplayer can be interesting, but I will not review it because there are always issues that will get in the way of multiplayer that people are not in control of. So let's begin. Ninja Gaiden 3 is a long-standing series about Ryu Hayabusa that is known for being brutally sadistic in terms of unforgiving difficulty. But in this third installment, the game's lead creator Itagaki is no longer with the company. So with this installment, it is up to the new kids to show what they can do with the series. And they have stated that they wish to make the game more accessible to a casual gaming audience. For the story, Ryu is now seen as more human than that of a supreme fighting ninja machine of death. Graphically, the game is fairly lovely, but I did notice a few screen tears. Combat is constricted to a very small area in terms of fighting, and enemy variety really isn't much to look at, as humans come into play more often than in the previous games. But this time, it's more than just armed military and than just the rival ninja clan. Boss battles are a wondrous thing to behold, but often become tedious as you continue fighting much of the same enemy types. Combat in the game has become a lot easier and much more forgiving than before. If you've had to become a reflex gaming phenomenon just to access the harder levels before, well, now it's all about the 5th grader's understanding of button mashing of games, and you'll do just fine. It's not so much about providing a challenge as much as it's holding your hand and slowly guiding you through the story. Health items aren't needed anymore as we now move into the regenerating health after each battle. And even if for some reason you can't defeat the easy enemies that the game throws at you, they now give you new Nimpo moves that will just clear the entire area for you anyway. So it really does help to have the game play itself for you. A nice way to help people out even more is that now they only have one weapon. Now, no longer are you able to focus on the alternate fighting styles that suit different situations. Instead, now all there is just a sword as your main focus. And this will help players focus on the easy combat and not be bothered with pesky thoughts such as weapon choices. Those will be added as DLC later. Now I know a lot of you right now are saying that I'm sounding patronizing, but no, that is very untrue. I am not sounding patronizing. This review is for the casual gaming audience. And moving on. The story premise for the game is Ryu gets infected with the blood of his enemies and he has to fight his way to survive. Which is some very backwards logic if I have to say so myself. Because I've killed so many people, I shall now be forced to kill even more people? That's kinda weird, but maybe they're going for a more comical story than in the previous games. I sure found it funny. Alright, well, all in all, Ninja Gaiden 3 may not be what long-term fans of the series expected, but the many compromises to gameplay and difficulty could be seen as needed, as many people who have been put off by the sadistic nature of the past games, they may like this. So if you ever feel that any of the previous games were just above your skill level, I can suggest this game for you. So to give this game a score, I'd have to give it a 2. That's right, this game receives the score of a 2. Alright, there you go. That is the most unbiased opinion review / whatever that I was able to squeeze out of my black little heart. And so now I'm going to do my fanboy review, since I am very much a fan of the previous game. If you don't want to hear a fanboy rant, might as well just stop the video. So let's get going. Ninja Gaiden is a series that will beat you senseless, then rest for a bit, wait for you to cry, and then beat you even more. Ninja Gaiden now is more like a mother stroking her child's hair, then kissing them on the cheeks, and then hugging them really tightly, all lovey, lovey, lovey tight, before taking them into the bedroom because she loves them just a little bit too much now, if you know what I'm saying. It was a glorious throwback to the days when gaming was less about hugging babies and more about struggling to reach the next fucking checkpoint. Ninja Gaiden 2 made me feel accomplished when I beat it. Now with Ninja Gaiden 3, I can get the same level of accomplishment by taking a piss. And I know a lot of you are going to say that I'm just mad because the game has an easier difficulty. No, I expected it much. If it was just a dumber AI, well, that wouldn't have been the problem. I could just crank it up to a higher difficulty setting. But they dumbed down everything else. Except the story, but don't get me wrong, it's not that they didn't try, it's just that the story has always been shit. Combat has seriously become press the button to win the game. And even if you don't press the buttons, don't worry, they'll wait for you. I literally won battles by putting my thumb on the buttons on one edge of the joypad, and then I would begin to flick my wrist, pressing the buttons up and down, and I won fucking fights like that. It's so fucking pathetic, I wanted to cry. Now I won't rag on the same gameplay because every game has repetition, but it's how the AI acts that makes every battle feel different. Previous games may have had the same enemies a lot, but they never fought the same. You could fight a random ninja and he would just turn into a boss mode for some reason. Now I promise that getting your ass kicked may have happened a lot in the previous Ninja Gaiden, but no two ass whoopings ever felt the same. Now boss fights don't even classify as bosses, just acts of random aggression. The weapon of the game is the sword, and clear the entire area nimble, because as the game series progresses, why not bore me to death with the same weapon? Sure, the combat can be considered faster, but that's only because the game practically attacks for you. Of course the combat is going to be faster when you only have to do a quarter of the work. And even though the last game came with a slew of new weapons to choose from, this one only has one main weapon. But don't worry, because there's DLC. Why the fuck not? Hey, it's free anyway. I hope it comes out on the first day as promised. You know what? Since this game is sounding like a fucking Disney game already, why not have Mickey Mouse tell you the story of the game? So here we go. Hello there, boys and girls. Guess what? Ryu Hayabusa, you bastard! You've killed too many people, and now their blood wants vengeance. Ooh, and you only have a week to live. And the only way to break the curse of killing those fuckers is to kill even more fuckers. Ooh! I swear to God, a brain-damaged, illiterate kid from Uganda could come up with a better story than this. This game is more failed than a hooker with her mouth sewed shut, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. They say that the game's changes are made to appeal to the casual gaming audience, but the casual gaming audience is now saying, meh, I'll pick it up when the price drops. And that's not what they want. They wanted you to buy it on the first day, but you're not. So that means they will probably buy the game used anyway. And they will buy it used from the hardcore fuckers who bought the game and are just so fucking disappointed anyway by the simplicity of it all. Look, I'm sorry, but I just don't come to this series for hand-holding. I come to this series to test out the fruits of my labor from a lifetime of gaming. Everything special about the game has been beaten, raped, and stripped away like a girl's virginity on prom night. If you wanted to try this shit, you could have done it with Hayate and made a Ninja Gaiden spin-off. As it stands, this game just makes me want to play the previous version and has me scared to death of what they plan to have in store for the next Dead or Alive game. And I'm gonna make sure I say this because I don't want to be so fucking confused. The score of this game is a 2. It's a fucking 2. But let me make sure I say this clear and concise. This is not a bad game. It is a decently fun game. Just it's a bad Ninja Gaiden game.